Hello everybody and welcome back to these strawberry fields. It was one of those sweet mornings where the light streamed perfectly into the house and Kaori sat on the piano in her pajamas, finger dancing across the keys with practice ease as Emmy kind of snoozed at her feet. Tokie, in the room next door, strummed a cheerful little tune on her guitar, pausing every now and then to throw in a goofy lyric about breakfast or something. The apartment was filled with the sounds of teenage ambition wrapped in music. At school, Kaori spotted Wolfgang by the lockers and decided it was the perfect time to nudge their little romance along, even though they were already dating. She complimented his outfit and he responded with one of his signature eyebrow raises. The two shared a laugh before Kaori dared him into skipping study hall for a little rooftop snack break. They didn't get quite into trouble, but let's just say their teacher gave them that look, and Kaori pretended to look innocent while Wolfgang smirked. At the end of school, Kaori and Wolfgang strolled down the tree-lined streets to their favorite little corner cafe. Kaori ordered something sweet and ridiculous, extra whipped cream, sprinkles, maybe even a cookie, while Wolfgang pretended to roll his eyes but ordered the exact same thing. They grabbed a window seat, the kind with the squishy cushions, and laughed at how their reflections made them look like some indie movie couple. The conversation started silly: school gossip, weird teachers, a debate on who would survive longer in a zombie apocalypse. But then it melted in something softer. Kaori told him of the lullaby she was writing on piano, and Wolfgang surprised her by admitting he sometimes wrote lyrics for fun. There was a moment, quiet and fluttery, where they just smiled and sipped their drinks and felt like the cafe had turned down its volume just for them. As the sun dipped low, they walked home slowly, fingers brushing now and then, but never fully holding hands. It wasn't fireworks kind of date, it was sweeter than that. It was the kind of afternoon that stayed with you, like whipped cream on your lips or a lyric you hum without realizing. It was cozy and gentle, exactly what Kaori needed. The next morning, we see scattered sheets of music across the floor. Tokie sat at the edge of her bed, strumming softly, letting the chords take shape beneath her fingers as the house bustled around her. Her hair was still a little messy, and her socks didn't match, but her eyes sparkled with quiet focus. She hummed a new melody, one she imagined playing on a glowing stage, an award in hand, her name in lights. At school, while the other students gossiped in the halls or tried to sneak past their teachers, Tokie found her favorite hiding spot, the library. The dust motes danced above her notebook as she scribbled into a little poetry book she'd been working on all semester. It was full of rhymes and dreamy lyrics and one or two love poems she'd never admit were inspired by real people. She flipped the page and titled the next entry, Someday Spotlight, underlining it 3 times and smiling to herself. By the end of the day, Tokie was buzzing with inspiration. Her backpack was heavier from the books she checked out. She didn't know exactly how she'd make her dreams come true, but she knew one day it was going to be. They were hers, and that was pretty cozy to start. When the bell rang, Tokie practically floated out of school. Her notebook clutched to her chest like a treasure map. She made her way to the brand new library just a few blocks from home. It was a warm, tall building with lots and lots of books. She tucked herself into a quiet corner by the window, opened her notebook, and with a deep breath, she finished it. She finished her first book. And as if on cue, her phone buzzed in her bag. She expected Nara or Kaori, but it was Sunki. She blinked at the message, cheeks immediately heating up as she read, a sweet, nervous confession that he liked her. Tokie bit her lips, heart racing, unsure if she should laugh, cry, or scream. Instead, she texted back honestly. She'd like to explore where this could go to. I really want to quickly interject here that I was not planning this at all. When this popped up, I froze. I was screaming, laughing. I literally started to tear up. I had plans that they would have this slight, romantic connection while she was a teenager, a child. And then that was it. Her crush on him disappeared and then something would happen when she was a young adult. I think I might I mean, I said yes to it now, but I'm not going to do anything about it until she's a young adult. I am going to spoil it right now to y'all. Next episode, she is aging up. The twins are aging up to young adults. So I don't feel that uncomfortable, but I will not be exploring this as a teen. Anyways, continue on. Tokie left the library that day with a finished book in her backpack and butterflies in her stomach. The streetlights flickered on above her as she walked home, her fingers dancing along the zipper of her coat, already composing a new song in her head. One with a little more blush, a little more heart, and a lot more song key. That next morning, Emi stretched and yawned before hopping onto the couch next to Dashiro as he played on his tablet. Miyu sipped her tea while Kaori and Tokie made themselves some quick toast, joking with Akihito as he tapped away at his laptop reviewing the latest submission for his art critic column. It was calm, and it was a nice morning. Once the girls headed out the door for school, Akihito gave Miyu a quick kiss before disappearing out onto the streets to work on an art mural. That's when the knock came at the door. Jordan, all awkward smiles and hesitant eyes, stood there with a hand in his pocket and something unspoken lingering between them. Miyu invited him in, and before long they were seated at the table, laughing over old memories, the rhythm of their conversations both familiar and dangerously sweet. It didn't take much. One shared glance, a soft brush of the hand, and the air between them shifted. The jokes gave way to flirtation, the laughter to something heavier, and Jordan leaned in. Miyu didn't stop him. They kissed. It was messy, confusing, but filled with a kind of longing neither of them had truly let go, and in a moment of impulsive nostalgia and heat, they tumbled into the bedroom, the door gently closing behind them. Afterward, the apartment settled into silence again, broken only by Toshiro's soft coos and Emi's snoring. Miyu sat at the edge of her bed, tangled in a mess of thoughts, unsure what to make of that whirlwind. Down the hallway, Akihito was still on his call for work, completely unaware, and the day, as days do, carried on. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. I was able to save the save file, as you can see, and we will be back to our normally scheduled videos. Have a nice day, stay safe, okay? Bye!